Hey guys, this is Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and my name is Steve, and I am here for your Week 4 waiver wire picks. But before we begin the video, again, please make sure you like this video. Also, if you haven't yet, please make sure you subscribe. We would like to continue to grow this channel and give you the guys content you guys are looking for in fantasy. So again, if you have any questions for lineup, trade questions, not sure if you should drop somebody for this person or that person, continue to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Again, we'll have the handles down below for you guys to link up with us, and we'll be able to help you out through Week 4. Hopefully you guys had a great win for Week 3, and we helped you with that. So let's get to our Week 4 waiver wires, and we're going to start with our rookies. Our receivers actually have a lot of great rookies in there. Our first rookie is actually going to be Justin Jefferson. So he started to show up for the Vikings his first game. Granted, a lot of it was on one big play, but he actually finished over 34 points for Week 3 for the Minnesota Vikings. He's about 69% available. The reason why I think he's a great waiver wire pick right now, especially if you need to just stream a receiver, if there's any injuries that are going on in your team, like an A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, maybe even a Chris Godwin right now might possibly be out. Justin Jefferson's got a great 3-week stretch. Where I think he can help really your team, again, kind of have that filler role. So I think Justin Jefferson for the Vikings is a great pickup. Another rookie that I have for receiver is actually going to be Brandon Aiyuk for the 49ers. So he's available in most leagues right now. I actually ended up picking it up myself. He's kind of that scat back in moments for the running game, but a great receiver who's starting to kind of develop in his own. And right now with Deebo Samuel still out, and really Mostert and Coleman out, they didn't have a whole lot of weapons. So he took advantage of it. He rushed a few times. He caught the ball really well. And he actually ended up putting over about 20 points last week on Sunday for the 49ers. So again, another great pick to, again, help fill any of those injuries that are happening coming up this week. Another receiver I have is actually going to be for the Jets. And I know that's kind of strange since Jets players aren't really someone we've been looking at or really talking about. But Braxton Berrios actually had a great game on Sunday. He's available in 99% of leagues. Again, nobody's really looking at any Jets players right now currently fantasy. The reason why I have him picked is he's had a TD in the last 2 games each. Jamison Crowder's been out. So really, there's not a lot of weapons that have been available for Sam Darnold. And right now, Sam Darnold has been having to play catch-up since they're really not having a strong established game, whether it be running with Frank Gore. Yes, he's running a lot, not averaging very well in carries. So right now, Sam Darnold's having to pass. And Braxton Berrios, I think, is a great receiver that might have a good matchup here or there. Right now, they're going to play Denver on Thursday night. So again, I think he's a great pickup that you can have for Week 4, again, if you need to kind of fill that maybe flex spot or maybe an injury to some receivers that you might have. The last receiver that we have for our waiver wire pick for this week is going to be Greg Ward for the Philadelphia Eagles. The reason why we have him, again, a lot of injuries to the Eagles. So you've got Deshaun Jackson, who was hurt. Dallas Goedert got hurt. You still have Alshon Jeffrey out. So it really doesn't leave a lot of weapons for Carson Wentz. And again, they've been a pass-heavy team. So right now, Greg Ward, he's available in 99% of the leagues. He had over 20 points on Sunday, saw 11 targets, which was crazy. And again, I think someone who might be a good flex, a streamer, maybe a DFS player that you want to kind of add for really cheap. He's going to be a lot more active with Deshaun Jackson and Goddard being out, and still no one knows what's going on with Alshon Jeffrey. So look for Greg Ward to be maybe somebody you might want to pick up this week for your Week 4. Next, we're going to have running backs. So the first running back I have is Rex Burkhead. So Rex Burkhead was probably one of the studs of the week. With James White being out due to his family's tragedy, unfortunately, with his father passing and his mother in still pretty serious condition, which is really sad. James White has obviously missed some games with his family. So Rex Burkhead kind of took the role. Michelle looked really good running the ball, but Burkhead got a lot of the goal line carries. Again, their best receiving running back right now with James White being out. He put up over 34 points. He's available about 89% of leagues. And you know how Bill Belichick is. Bill Belichick will use whoever he needs to, whenever he needs to. He loves Burkhead a lot, especially in the passing game. And the fact that he shows that he kind of took over the goal line carries instead of Sony Michel really shows a lot of what's happening with Sony Michel. and he's somebody I would really kind of be hesitant to keep on my roster. Burkhead's probably a great replacement to any Sony Michel owners. Again, another great flex player in case you need to. A lot of injuries have still been occurring these weeks. Again, Burkhead is a great player to pick up if you haven't already. So next is Myles Gaskin for the Miami Dolphins. So Myles Gaskin kind of took over the starting role from Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard, which is probably the most interesting player, has, I think, more carries than yards and almost as many touchdowns, which is crazy. So he is their goal line back, which is a little bit why I'm hesitant on Gaskin. But Gaskin still put up over 14 points. Again, is their leading carrying running back. I think you're going to see some more out of him. He's available about 53% of the leagues. So look for Myles Gaskin as a great running back to kind of pick up. Not sure if you really need him, but I think he's a good pickup. Don't be too afraid of Howard being the goal line back. I think Gaskin will start picking those up towards the end of the season. Great back. I think you should look forward to him. The other back that I have is going to be the 49ers' Jeff Wilson Jr. So Jeff Wilson Jr., I have him as a waiver wire pick this week because he had a really solid game on Sunday. He's about 78% available in most leagues. Now, the only scare I have with him is really comes down to, obviously, Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman. Based off those injuries, if they're still out, Jeff Wilson is still a great streaming running back to pick up for maybe a flex spot, maybe an RB2, depending on how injured your players are for your team. So, again, kind of pay attention to those injuries. Obviously, Jerry McKinnon was the starting back, did really well for them. But Jeff Wilson was catching the ball, running the ball, and the 49ers don't have a lot of weapons right now. And they need anybody and everybody to kind of help Mullins out until Garoppolo comes back. So Jeff Wilson was another great pickup, I think. Again, maybe a flex spot, maybe a DFS player. Make sure you look for him this week in the waiver wire picks. And the last running back I'm going to have is Carlos Hyde. Now, if anybody watched the game, unfortunately, he was injured towards the end of the game due to a player that I watched that game. I watched the play. Could have been dirty, could have been intentional, I'm not really sure, but unfortunately he was kind of rolled around, kind of the gator roll they call it, that unfortunately caused him to kind of hurt his knee. They did an MRI on Monday. It came out negative for any torn ligaments, which is great news for Chris Carson and the Seahawks. But they expect him to be out at least a week or two. I know they're hoping to come back this week, but right now it's about a week or two for his injury. So Carlos Hyde becomes the starting running back for the Seattle Seahawks. So that's a big plus for anybody who's looking for someone to kind of fill in for maybe an RB2 or maybe a flex spot. So Carlos Hyde will be the filler in for the Chris Carson role for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Chris Carson wasn't smashing it in fantasy points. He had some goal lines. He caught the ball a lot. But let's be honest, Russell Wilson is going for some crazy TD numbers this year. So look for Carlos Hyde to maybe kind of step back a little bit. They might pass a little more with Russell Wilson. Again, pay attention to our week 4 start and sits. He might be one of those players. So Carlos Hyde is another great pick. Next I'm going to have is AlieCox for the Colts as a tight end. Again, he might be somebody you might want to pick up for a tight end. Some of you guys maybe pick up tight ends every single week and actually don't draft any. He has a great rapport right now with Phillip Rivers. And he actually has been available in about 90% of the leagues. He's averaged over 14 points the last 2 games, which is fantastic. Not amazing amount of targets, but if you watch some of those games, one of the things that Phillip Rivers has always been known for is the tight end. He loved passing to the tight end, whether it was Hunter Henry, whether it was Antonio Gates in the past when he used to play for the Chargers. So I look for that relationship to start developing even further grow when the season starts going on. I know Jack Doyle is technically their starting tight end, but Jack Doyle seems to have been more of a blocking tight end the past 2 games I've noticed. And Myles AlieCox is more of a elite receiver style body compared to Jack Doyle. So he is more of a deep threat, post route, end zone player. So again, that's another great tight end you can pick up if you need somebody that's filling an injury, maybe a Kittle, maybe a Jordan Reed. Or, again, just maybe a good flex position that you want to kind of fill in or a DFS player. So look for AlieCox to be a great pickup for week 4. The last player we're going to talk about is Joe Burrow. So Joe Burrow, the reason why I picked him as a quarterback, he's still available in about 30% of the leagues. Joe Burrow has been passing like crazy. If anybody's watched any of the Cincinnati games, they truly trust this quarterback, even though he's a rookie. and he has no fear at all. He is slinging the ball. He's had some great games. I think week 3 he finished about 19 points or so. Yes, he's going to have those rookie mistakes, but there's a lot more upside to Joe Burrow than there is more of a floor. So that's somebody I think would be a great streamer pick. Look at some of his matchups. Like this week right now, I think is his perfect week 4 start, which is going against Jacksonville. And we saw how Ryan Fitzpatrick tore up the Jacksonville secondary. He looked like he was Patrick Mahomes out there. So look for Joe Burrow as a great pickup, especially if you need somebody. Again, maybe you're a team that likes to stream some quarterbacks depending on matchups. Look for Joe Burrow for the Cincinnati Bengals to have an amazing game against Jacksonville. So those are our week 4 waiver wire picks. I really hope you guys like this video. I really hope this helps you guys out. I hope the information we've given you the past few weeks have helped you win week 2 and week 3. And I hope this continues to help you win in week 4. Now, if any of these players are somebody you really like, or maybe you don't agree with what we have, please let us know in the comments below. Maybe there's some other players you think we should have mentioned as some waiver wire picks. Again, if you like this video, make sure you like this video. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our channel. Help us continue to grow our content. Again, if you have any questions throughout the week for waiver wire picks, who to drop, who to pick up, maybe you have trade questions, again, lineup questions, we'll have our week 4 start sit video on Thursday morning. Continue to follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We update constantly, giving you all the information you need, whether it be injury, some great picks for week 4, and continue to help you out with your championship. So again, thank you guys for watching this video. See you next time. Bye.